Hey everyone, I don't have an audience right now because this is kind of just a test run, so bear with me basically. So here goes. Imagine you are lying in a hospital bed hooked up to countless machines. There are doctors and nurses constantly coming in and out of your room to do checkups on you while you're attempting to get comfortable through the fatigue, pain, and slow wasting away of your own body. On top of all this, you're suffering from a multitude of side effects from different drugs, can barely catch your breath, and have had no appetite since you were admitted to the hospital. The doctors have, unfortunately, given you no chance of survival, and death is fast approaching. It's just a matter of time, but when? You've come to terms with dying, said goodbye to your family and friends, and are ready to meet your maker. Now, if you had the chance to choose how your life ended, would you take advantage of it? If so, today I plan to persuade you of why physician-assisted suicide should be a legal option to terminally ill patients throughout the United States. So, what is physician-assisted suicide? According to medicinenet.com, physician-assisted suicide is the voluntary termination of one's life by administration of a lethal substance with the direct or indirect assistance of a physician. Basically, the doctor or physician provides a barbiturate that gives the patient a sedative-like effect, and then the patient performs the act of ending their own life. This is significantly different from euthanasia, also called a mercy killing, where the physician is the one who provides and administers the drug that ends the life of the patient with the painful or incurable disease. However, in the case of physician-assisted suicide, the patient alone has made the conscious decision to take control over their own life instead of letting a physician prolong their lives further than necessary. Although, this is not the case in every state. According to deathwithdignity.org, there are currently only 6 states, California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington, and 1 district, the District of Columbia, that allow and have physician-assisted suicide laws in place. From 1994 to 2018, these 6 states and DC have allowed mentally competent, terminally ill adult state residents to voluntarily end their lives. This process allows a patient the peaceful, humane manner of death at a place and time of their own choosing through death with dignity laws. According to deathwithdignity.org, death with dignity laws stem from the basic idea that it is terminally ill people, not government and its interference, politicians and their ideology, or religious leaders and their dogma, who should make their end-of-life decisions and determine how much pain and suffering they should endure. However, these laws come with a price, requirements. In all 6 states and DC, the requirements for qualification of physician-assisted suicide are similar. First and foremost, the patient requesting PAS has to be 18 years of age. Second, they have to be competent. This requires that the patient's physicians and psychiatrists and/or the court system have the opinion of whether or not the patient can make informed decisions of their own health. Third, the patient must have their physician confirm whether or not they actually have a terminal illness. Fourth, they must voluntarily and competently express that they wish to have the medication that will end their life. Fifth, they must also make a written request for medication that will help end their life so they can be tracked by the state government. Finally, they must meet the requirements of citizenship for that state. All of these requirements must be met in order to qualify, as they do not meet qualifications solely on age and disability. With these requirements, PAS, or physician-assisted suicide, becomes a more defined term and allows for other states and medical practices to determine the actual health of their patients and understand why a patient wants to proceed with such a life-changing event. Okay. In an attempt to end on a high note, I would like to add an excerpt from John C. Yarda, a U.S. poet, who once said the Constitution gives every American the inalienable right to make a damn fool of himself. I love how this quote gives an example of just one of our many rights under the Constitution. Although it is not specifically written in the Constitution that we are given the right to act like a damn fool, we still have the right guaranteed to us. That was the Founding Fathers' intentions, to not limit our freedoms by trying to write down every right we have in into a specific list, but rather leave our rights intact. So, with this in mind, since we have these many rights guaranteed to us, doesn't that grant us the freedom to choose how we live our lives and inevitably how we choose to end them? Thank you.